All right, let's take a look at this last shape here. I've done a couple other multi-views to ISOs, but this one's really interesting. You can see it's got a triangular protrusion here, and then it's got this trapezoidal piece right there. It's got a circle hole going through it. So there's definitely a lot going on here. Again, it's kind of good to have an idea roughly of what this thing looks like. This is a lot more difficult as far as making a rough picture, but I'll just kind of do my best here. So just real briefly, it's going to be something kind of like this. I'm going to draw that down, drop that down, kind of like that. And then, oh, sorry, it's not in the view. So draw that down, bring it over, and then it kind of has this quality where it goes to the back there. So kind of back like that. This is dropping down, coming over, dropping down there. All right, so that sort of thing with a hole right there. That's basically what we're looking at. All right, that's not quite to scale, obviously, but that's the idea. All right, so start with overall dimensions, like we always do. So this is 6 blocks wide, it is 5 blocks tall, and it is 4 blocks deep total right there. So I'm going to use this space right here. So let's start here. Total depth is 4, even though it's not 4 in the back here. 5 height, so right there. 6 width. Alright, so I'm just kind of setting up my area, and there it is. Alright, so that's my area to work inside of. Now, I'm just going to look for some horizontal and vertical features to help me out at first. So if I'm looking for horizontal features, here's one. Okay, that's the top edge of this thing. That piece right there. So I'm going to actually make that. I know that's a tiny piece, but it actually is going to help me to see some of the other overall components. So there's that. Then another really prominent flat surface is this one on the right side. We have that right side view, so I can actually make that pretty easily on the right side view. And again, sorry, I'm not using a straight edge right now. I'm just trying to do this relatively quickly, and then you can slow it down if you need to on the video. All right, so I can actually now connect those two faces, and that'll make things start to shape up, if you will. So I'm going to draw from that corner to that corner. I'm going to draw from this corner to that one right there. All right, you can see it's starting to take shape a little bit. And then I know this back edge truly drops all the way down, and more importantly, that triangle is going to come all the way back to where it drops down. So I need to drop this down 5 blocks. So that's this spot right here. And then I know this is the very, very bottom. So since that's the very bottom, I'm going to draw that out to here. And this will start to create my triangular piece right here. So I'm going to go from this point to that point. And then I should also take note that the edge comes up here as well. So I'm going to go from this point to this point, and that'll give me my base right there. Then I just need to throw an object line in here so we can tell where it transitions from a horizontal surface to a vertical surface. So just like that. All right, it's looking pretty good. So the last thing we have left is our hole, and that hole is, if I go from this corner, it's 2 units to the right and 2 units up. So 2 units right, 2 units up. That's it right there. All right. Now, I have this feeling, oh no, I didn't make that too long. Okay. So this one gets a little bit interesting because it's so close right here, that hole is. It should technically be, yeah, it's going to be fine, but it's going to be really interesting. So I know I want a circle in here, or I want to represent a circle in there. It's actually going to be an ellipse. So I'm going to make some construction lines. Hopefully you can see them on the screen. Yeah, you can see them. So this is the square that encompasses that circle. So what I want to do is I want to go to the midpoint of each of those sides, and that will be the extent of my circle. It'll go out to those points. And then the other thing we want to do is we want to make a couple of guide points. And to do the guide points, you find the diagonals of your square. So there's my diagonal, number 1. And go 2/3 of the distance from the center out to each corner. So that's going to be right here for that one, and right there for that one. That'll give me some guide points for my ellipse. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this diagonal. So I'm going to go 2/3, which would be right there, and 2/3 this direction, which should be right there. So now I have 8 guide points instead of just 4 to make my circular representation, which again is an ellipse. So now I'm just going to connect all those points. Okay, and I like this method because I am not that great at figuring out exactly what that should look like without some guide points. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to erase these a little bit too because I don't want them kind of distracting from my shape. And there you go. That is the shape we were going for.